My name is Yael, and today I would like to inform you of the deaf culture and its journey from the past, around the 1800s, the present, today, April 5th, and the future for what lies ahead for the deaf community and the deaf culture. By a show of hands, how many of you have encountered and interacted with a deaf person in your lifetime? Okay, not very many people. All right, I was given the opportunity to first interact with a deaf person junior year of high school in a club called ASL Club. It happened every Wednesday, the first Wednesday of every month. In that club, upon walking in, my mouth just dropped. There were the four of us, myself, a professor of ASL, and two deaf students. And just walking in and sitting down, I was able to really interact with them, and just watching them interact and sign and laugh and have, a thorough conversation just astonished me, because I never knew that it was more than just a language, but rather, a culture, a way of interacting with each other. So first, I would like to define culture. Okay, culture is a set of learned behaviors of a group of people who have their own language, values, rules of behavior, and traditions. Okay, about ASL. In the 1800s, it was frowned upon to use ASL. Parents would actually teach their children to lip read and pretend like they aren't hard of hearing or deaf, and just go about society, putting up a front, playing a role. It was actually taken to the extreme by some parents, where they would actually tie their children's hands down to keep them from signing. In 1817, Lorraine Claire and Thomas H. Gallaudet founded the first school of the deaf in America. France was ahead of America. They already had their first deaf school. So Lorraine Claire traveled from France here to America, and him and his friend Thomas Gallaudet, they created this school. Both Lorraine Claire and Gallaudet were deaf themselves, and the school is called Gallaudet. ASL is used by approximately 500,000 deaf people in the United States and Canada. Although we don't see, groups and groups of deaf people interacting and signing on a daily basis, doesn't mean that they're not there. You just have to look harder. Okay, deaf values. Members of the deaf community tend to view deafness as a difference in human experience rather than a disability. If you encounter a deaf person and you ask them, "Are you deaf?" they'll say it with pride. "I'm deaf." That's what they'll tell you. They're not ashamed of who they are. They don't consider it a disability, because a disability means that they are disabled, they are prevented from doing something, from being someone in society. And deaf people definitely do contribute to society, as Lorraine Claire and Gallaudet have, by forming that the first deaf school in America. Okay, so sign language is a type of visual communication with the hands, body, and facial expressions used by deaf and hard of hearing people. Okay, this is where I would like to explain the values of the deaf community. Facial expressions, so critical for the deaf community. Your face is about 75% of what is being conveyed to the other person. Just from going like this, you guys know I'm upset, right? Just from going like this, I'm obviously sad. Okay? It's the same concept for the deaf community. Eyebrows, hand orientation, if it's facing the audience or away. Like this is one, this is alone. It's the same hand shape, but just this little movement right here changes everything. So along the lines of values, the deaf community firmly believes in passing the language, ASL, from generation to generation, and that's how it is spread, because not everybody has been given the opportunity to go to Gallaudet. And the deaf also value community. Every year in the springtime, there's actually an organization, DAW, and they organize Deaf Awareness Day at Balboa Park, which I have attended for the past 2 years, and it's a fantastic experience. I recommend you guys go. I believe it's in May, and at that event, you get to interact with people from all over San Diego, people you've never, even given a second thought to consider as being deaf, people who are doctors, people who are, just in education, people who do contribute to society and happen to be deaf. For many years, ASL was not considered a language. Critics claimed it did not have grammatical structure. Okay? From my personal experience, I can tell you that it does. It is a language that is very difficult to grasp and utilize. There is grammar, and there is a wrong way to sign. Okay, it was often forbidden in schools and programs for deaf children. Again, children were taught to lip read. And for years and years, ASL was actually considered a suppressed language despite its use. So now let's talk about where we are right now. Okay, ASL is still considered a fine art here at Grossmont College. This upsets me personally because it's a language and it's something that I am pursuing in my life, and I am planning on being an interpreter, hopefully within the next semester. And for it to not be considered a language when there's such a vibrant culture attached to, this way of interacting, it just blows my mind. So as of today, it is still considered a fine art. So now let's talk about the future. At some point, it is still in debate here with our dean, but soon, I'd like to see this in my lifetime. ASL will hopefully be a language and not just a fine art. And with that, and on that hopeful note, I would like to encourage my audience to go ahead and find a deaf person and start up a conversation, because they are just another person, and you shouldn't feel afraid to try to communicate with another person. Thank you.